Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good day, good day. Happy Tuesday, guys. Happy Tuesday. Hope your day's going well. Day 12 of Witcher. Is that where we're at? I think that's where we're at. Day 12? Day 12? Confirmed? Confirmed. Day 12 of The Witcher 3. Good times, man. Good times. Yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying it. We'll keep pushing. We got a lot of gameplay left. There's a lot to do in that game, but feels good. We got the Griffin set yesterday, so we'll keep pushing. See where we can get to today. Before we do that, let's do what we always do, and let's hop into this video gaming news segment. All right, let's go. Let's go. Oh, let's fix this camera first. How about that? There we go. Cool. Let's get it. Um, As Dusk Falls review, Family Matters. Okay. Xbox Pioneer forms Jar of Sparks new studio dedicated to AAA action. Okay, let's take a look at that. Destiny 2 streamer sued by Bungie for cheating and harassment. Nice. Cheaters get wrecked, dude. We already read about July's PlayStation Plus stuff yesterday. If you're interested, go look at yesterday's video gaming news segment on YouTube. All right. Let's pivot. I'm gonna turn my fan on. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Government says video game loot boxes will not be, looks like, regulated. All right. Dying Light 2 data mine reveals gladiator themed story DLC. Yeah, see, we read about this yesterday. I'm not going to dive back into this. Basically, PlayStation Plus, what's coming to the table for PlayStation Plus? To include a lot of Ubisoft titles, right? So we read about that. If you're interested, check out yesterday's news segment, okay? We have that up already. We've talked about Tesla incorporating Steam into their vehicles, right? I'm sure we'll get more on that, but as of they're going to be showcasing it sometime in the near future, and we'll take a look whenever that happens. Heeny's Steam Deck rival is just the right size. We'll take a quick peek here. Yeah, Stray. We know about Stray. This is not really going to be good news for us, so I'm not going to dive into this. It just talks about what Stray is. We're familiar. We've talked about it a lot. Konami Gaming's all aboard. What is this? Oh, dude, that's some gambling stuff. We're not getting into that. Activision further embraces Steam with official publisher. Let's see. Let's see what that is. Take a look. Look, I think it's good that there is a focus on being inclusive for women in gaming. The industry that I love, the world that I love, gaming should be an inclusive place. We should be accepting everybody. I am hesitant about this article because of where it's coming from. Ad age. Um, and what this is actually talking about looks like feminine focused brand marketing. So I'm not going to dive into this. What I will say is that I want the world that I love and has been such a huge part of my life, which is video games, to be accessible to as many people in the world as possible. I don't care who you are, as long, again, just like what this community is, as long as you're a good person, that's what matters to me. It I don't care what your gender is, your identity is, what your the color of your skin is, anything like that. That doesn't matter to me. I want you to be able to enjoy and be included in the world that I love. So, as far as that's concerned, awesome. But I don't want to dive into this because it seems like a promotional kind of thing, and it's about brands and marketing and stuff like that, and that's not what I want to dive into. Wow, that was a lot of nothing on that page. We'll probably go 4 pages in today. Xbox's Game Pass for July adds 6 more games. Okay, let's take a look. The hot new co-op farming game is called Dinkum. Let's go. Well, I already can tell you who this is from. This is from old Richard. That's not his actual name. That's what I started calling this individual because his last name is like Ricciello or something like that. Richitiello, right there. Um, this is the CEO from Unity. Yeah, get wrecked, dude. If you're not familiar, basically what happened, if you go look at some of the previous video gaming news segments, you'll see it. Unity is collaborating with Iron Source to get more. From what I understand, the main portion of it was to get more ad stuff going on within their applications. Um, and Iron Source is who they collaborated with to get it done. Iron Source, though, is very, very noted for having malware within their software. So immediately, Unity started getting kind of destroyed across the industry for collaborating with Iron Source. And then the CEO of Unity came out and started calling other developers, all encompassing all other developers, flipping idiots. And so that just made matters even worse for Unity. And now that CEO is trying to backtrack off of all that. Old Richard. Yeah, like I said, we know that a demo, a showcase is going to happen in the not too distant future here for Tesla, incorporating Steam into their vehicles, and we'll take a look. We'll take a look whenever that happens. Let's pivot real quick. All right, looks like Grounded is the latest video game that is being adapted as a TV series. So they're basically making another Honey I Shrunk the Kids. It's a modern Honey I Shrunk the Kids, basically. Yeah, we'll pull it up. Star Wars Hunters has been delayed. We'll take a look there. Sims 4 sexual orientation update is free. Here's why. Take a look at that. Man installs incredible gaming setup to play Truck Simulator. No way, dude. This is going to be wild. We'll see that. We'll probably put that at the end, just for something wild to take a look at before we end the news segment. We read about that yesterday. The new Resident Evil did not pique my interest. I tried to watch it. It was not very entertaining as far as I'm concerned. It's been kind of getting review bombed on Netflix as well. So give it a shot if you are interested. But I would say keep your expectations low. Sorry, guys. All right, we'll stick with that for today. These will be our articles that we cover, okay? Starting it off, Activision further embraces Steam with official publisher homepage. It's a minor detail, but shows that Activision is serious about its return to Steam. Activision is coming back to Steam in a big way in 2022. We've known for a while now that the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 will be the first COD to arrive on Steam since 2017, but it looks like Activision is getting ready for its grand return by gussying itself up with an official publisher homepage. Publisher homepages are what you see when you click on the publisher's name on a Steam store page. Before today, Activision's publisher link led to a default list of its Steam games. Now it has a more official publisher homepage with a banner image, an option to follow the publisher on Steam, and collections of Activision games curated by Activision. Not a significant change for the average customer, but it does suggest that Activision will be a closer participant in the Steam marketplace going forward. Activision technically never left Steam entirely. In 2019, Sekiro and Spyro remake trilogy released on Steam under the Activision banner, despite the last four CODs and Crash Bandicoot 4 only ever releasing on Battle.net, and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 appearing exclusively on the Epic Games Store. Could be a sign that outliers like Crash 4, Tony Hawk, and Activision's big service game successes, Call of Duty Warzone, will also come to Steam soon. A formal homepage means that Activision can now join in on the fun of Steam publisher sales, promotions that typically see discounts on a publisher's entire Steam catalog. Maybe we'll finally get a decent discount on decade-old Call of Duty games. Okay. So there you go. There you go. Well, yeah, I think that probably is a pretty good indicator that we'll see a lot of those games that weren't actually on Steam prior end up on Steam as well. So, uh, cool. That's a whole thing. Xbox Game Pass July 2022 lineup adds six more games, including As Dusk Falls. The day one new release, As Dusk Falls, launches July 19th on Game Pass. Five more titles also headed to the service soon. Microsoft has announced a second wave of titles headed to the Xbox Game Pass in July. There are six more titles coming to the subscription program before the month is done. July 19th, today, sees the arrival of 3 more games, beginning with the day 1 release As Dusk Falls for console, cloud, and PC. This is an interactive drama and the debut title from developer Interior Night, a team founded by Quantic Dream veterans. Like Quantic Dream games, As Dusk Falls allows players to make choices in a story that starts with a robbery gone wrong that can have a butterfly effect down the road. GameSpot's As Dusk Fall review scored the game a 9 out of 10. We saw the trailer for this, I think, during a lot of the summer game showcases. Also arriving on July 19th is Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion, along with Ubisoft's Watch Dogs 2 for console, cloud, and PC. On July 21st, Xbox Game Pass will add the racing game MotoGP 2022 for console, cloud, and PC, and the RPG Torment Tides of Numenera for console and PC. The 6th new addition to Game Pass in July is Playdead's 2016 puzzle game Inside, a sequel to the studio's celebrated Limbo, and it releases July 29th for console, cloud, and PC to round out the month. Microsoft is known for adding more games to Game Pass by surprise, so it's possible there are more games in store for July that we don't know about yet. Keep checking back for more. As mentioned, this is the second wave of new additions to Game Pass for this month. The first batch included 4 day 1 new releases and more. So we get today, As Dusk Falls, Ashes of Singularity Escalation, Watch Dogs 2. 2 days from now, MotoGP 22, Torment Tides of Numenera, and then on the 29th, Inside. All right. Yo, gamer, what's up, buddy? How are you, man? The hot new co-op farming game is called Dinkum. This Animal Crossing-like life sim is based on cute and toothy Australian wildlife. Tell me they have spiders. Woo! They gotta have some spiders in there, man. New farming and life sim Dinkum takes the cozy island living formula and soups it up with what the genre desperately needed: crocodiles. This Australian-inspired island won't dispel any of the memes about the outback being dominated by wildlife waiting to murder you, given that I will be planting crops and petting the excessively large wombats back in town instead, thank you. Dinkum launched last week in early access, wrangling a peak of almost 9,000 players on Sunday, earning an overwhelmingly positive batch of 95% user recommendations so far. Neither is a small feat for a self-published indie game in early access. Solo developer and Australian local James Bindon says he wants to recreate a little bit of his childhood magic and nostalgia with Dinkum's Aussie-based biomes and animals. As expected, based on the launch trailer, lots of players are referencing Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing in their reviews. Those of us waiting for a true AC contender have had a few nice indie games crop up, but still nothing with quite the staying power that Stardew Valley has given the Harvest Moon formula on PC. Quote, if you love Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, Minecraft, and Harvest Moon, this is a slow-moving grind to build a town up from nothing, much like New Horizons, says one player after 10 hours. You're doing most of the things in Animal Crossing, but with more free-form gameplay from Minecraft and Stardew Valley, says another. On the grand spectrum of Stardew likes to Crossing likes, Dinkum does sound like it falls right in the middle. You'll decorate your house and town to your liking, fish and catch bugs, and invite 9 different characters to join your island. You'll also be raising crops and livestock, though, from cactus to wombats, and Dinkum doesn't tie you to the real-world clock the way Animal Crossing does. As for the multiplayer, it looks closer to Animal Crossing. Friends can visit your world to help you farm and forage, but only the host can earn progress through main quest objectives, something mentioned in most of the negative reviews, and some positive ones that had hoped for more Stardew-like shared progression. Yeah, Dinkum does have some extra twists for those of us well-versed in the life and farming sim loop. It's important to choose the proper location, not just season for your crops, because temperatures are different between biomes like eucalyptus forests and deserts. It also brings foraging activities like metal detecting and ways to zip around like hang gliders. It's not all sunshine and cactus down here, though. Dinkum is based on the wildlife of Australia, and not just the kind you'd want to pet. You need to fight or trap crocs waiting in the water. Don't forget the kangaroos are actually dangerous too. Dinkum is still in early access, mind. Bindon says that routine updates will add new seasonal events, new characters coming to the island, clothing, items, and loads more. Plans for the early access process to last at least a year. Down under in the user reviews, one player is already ahead of us in the inevitable cash crop grind, saying, 5 hours in and I've barely got anything done in terms of progress as I'm too busy trying to earn dinks. They do recommend it too, despite the dink grind. Just woke up wondering when the games will arrive on PlayStation. The games. Specifically what games, man? You talking about the new games coming to PS Plus? This actually looks pretty cool, man. Nice, cute little farming sim building game. Pretty neat. Pretty neat looking. Xbox video game grounded in the works as animated series from Star Wars Clone Wars, Brent Friedman. Okay, so it's animated. So not necessarily Honey I Shrunk the Kids, but same premise, right? Honey I Shrunk the Kids wasn't animated. It was live action movie back in the day, but same kind of concept. Xbox video game, which was inspired by Bug's Life and Honey I Shrunk the Kids, is being adapted by Star Wars Clone Wars writer Brent Friedman. It marks the latest Imagine Mid Morning. Well, what PlayStation titles are you talking about specifically? Dude, you talking about the PS Plus stuff that's supposed to be coming today? Is that what you're talking about? Because we can look into it if that's what you're talking about. It marks the latest video game to get the television treatment following the likes of Netflix's Arcane and Paramount Plus's Halo. The series, which exists in the same universe as the game, follows four friends who the summer before high school planned big things to elevate their social standing. But their plans are upended when they stumble upon shrinking technology that makes them 2 inches tall. Now the four shrunken friends must learn to survive in a towering backyard that's a jungle full of enormous predators and hiding a vast corporate conspiracy threatening their entire town. The game was released via early access in July 2020 and has had over 10 million players and will be launched wider in September. Obsidian Entertainment and Xbox are adapting the game into a series in association with Waterproof Studios, SC Productions, Kinetic Media, and Bardell Entertainment. Friedman, who also wrote on Star Trek Enterprise and is adapting Earthworm Jim into a series. What? No way. Nice. Will craft the story with Brian Goodrich, who worked on the Halo video game attached to direct. The move comes as the development team will be hosting an in-person booth in the Interactive Zone at San Diego Comic-Con in July. The show will then be taken to Kidscreen and MIPCOM later this year. We couldn't be more excited about diving into the whimsical universe of Grounded. This partnership will be one of great collaboration, expanding on an already wonderful journey of exploration and adventure, said Tiny Chow, CEO Bardell Entertainment. The team at Obsidian have created an incredible world that has already grabbed the attention of the gaming community. We are excited to work with our incredible partners to bring the story to life in an animated series, added Carl Whiteside, MD, WPSC Productions. Okay, cool. Well, the reason I was trying to get specifics from you, man, was to try to make sure you weren't talking about some specific game that was supposed to release today that outside of maybe PS Plus games or whatever. That's what I was trying to get from you, to try to help you out and trying to figure this out. If you were talking about just trying to get specifics to see if I could help, dude. Star Wars Hunters delayed. Upcoming free-to-play video game Star Wars Hunters has been delayed. Developers Zynga and Lucasfilms Games has announced instead of releasing this year for the Nintendo Switch as well as iOS and Android mobile devices, Star Wars Hunters is now set to release in 2023. As for why it's been delayed, it appears, but I'll help you look into it in a second. it appears that the developer has decided it wasn't quite ready after an initial soft launch. We're working tirelessly to achieve our vision for Star Wars Hunters. The announcement of the delay reads in part, our ambition is to create a competitive battle arena game that will entertain for years to come. To ensure we meet the high expectations we are setting for fans globally and ourselves as developers, we have made the decision to delay the worldwide launch of Star Wars Hunters. Check out the full statement about the delay of Star Wars Hunters for yourself below. According to the statement, Star Wars Hunters will remain available to those playing in soft launch territories and will continue to see regular new content updates leading up to the worldwide launch next year. The next update for those playing Star Wars Hunters in the soft launch is scheduled to happen within the next few weeks, according to the announcement. Star Wars Hunters is notably set after the fall of the Galactic Empire, putting it somewhere after the Return of the Jedi in the timeline. Players will fight it out in arenas on teams featuring all sorts of Star Wars characters, but all of the revealed characters thus far, like the Dark Side Warrior Raif, Aaron Tau, the Mandalorian, Graz, the Wookiee, and more, appear to be original to the video game. As noted above, Star Wars Hunters is now set to release free-to-play for the Switch and for mobile devices, iOS and Android both, in 2023. Previously was set to release this year. Title was announced back in February of 2021. Okay. So there you go. If you were anticipating this, it has now been delayed. Let me see real quick, dude. Usually these things roll out like super early morning, so I'm surprised they're not already there, man. If you're not seeing them, that's weird. That's usually the way that works. It's usually the way I mean, traditionally the way they set this kind of stuff up is like as that date rolls over, it's just locked in for those titles to be available. So as the 19th hits, they kind of are ready for you. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know. Maybe Sony's doing something different though. Their Twitter actually makes it look like they've already got everything out, dude. They tweeted out about an hour ago. New on game catalog, discover hundreds of great games available on premium and extra. It's showing Stray, the Final Fantasy, Avengers, Assassin's Creed games, all that stuff. I don't know. That's about the best I'm finding right now. But I mean, it almost makes it seem like they're already out there, dude. And usually that's the way it works. Usually it's like it's not like a midday rollout thing. Usually that's like on releases of like specific titles and stuff. As far as like subscription services and stuff, it's usually the day they have that stuff set to roll out from the servers as soon as the day turns over. Um, so if they're not available right now, I would find that kind of odd, dude. Sims 4 sexual orientation update is free. Here is why. Is that big enough? It's weird. I don't like the fact that it's like all the way over there on the right side of the screen. But here, we'll read this. Was your weekend not quite long enough? I hear you. It happens to the best of us. But if you need help unwinding at the end of the day, or just a little productive distraction, then we have an idea. It's to do with cleaning, but don't let that put you off. There's no elbow grease involved in this cleansing activity. Welcome to Monday. Uh, Pretty sure it's not Monday anymore, but anyways, today we wanted to give you a quick video game news and reviews roundup, including a wonderful nostalgia trip back to 1999. We're thrilled you are with us today and every day. Yeah, okay. Yo, where's what we actually pulled this up for? Yeah, there we go. Newest feature update in The Sims 4 continues to show the franchise's commitment to creating an inclusive gaming experience for all players. The Sims series, developed by Maxis and published by yeah, EA, has always been a part of the expansion of diversity and inclusion in games. The original game was released in 2000 and offered players the option to pursue same sex relationships. And the latest entry, The Sims 4, has received consistent updates to expand the representation of the LGBTQIA plus community, um, which is cool. The latest update coming to the game adds the sexual orientation feature, which will let players create attraction parameters for Sims, including what genders they are interested in romantically and physically. Senior designer and design lead Jessica Croft maintains that diversity in games is a valuable tool in reflecting the diversity of identities in the real world. That's why sexual orientation isn't just an optional feature or added purchase. You can't just turn off queer people, Croft tells Inverse. That is an important stance for us to take. What's going on, Mamselle? What's up? You talking about what we're reading about here? The Sims 4 has released a free sexual orientation update to their game. I was gagging because I can't say EA or Electronic Arts without wanting to throw up because I hate that developer. Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, that's why we pulled this article up. There's some other stuff in this article, but this is what we were looking for. This is actually really cool. Inclusive, and you know, it's good stuff. Yeah. So this has become a whole thing in the channel while you were on vacation. We've got highlights. We're probably going to turn into a GIF here in the channel because we have to read that name quite often when we do the news segment, right? And I'm going to turn it into a GIF very soon. I've already got a highlight cut out for us to be able to turn this into a developer gag GIF. Yeah. So it's coming. It's coming. It's basically going to be right now for used for basically anything that would have to do with this dev and Blizzard, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, yeah. So it'll be good. It'll be good. But that's cool, man. It's cool they're doing that for The Sims 4. That's awesome. How are you, Mamzelle? How you doing, my friend? It's good to see you. As Dusk Falls review, Family Matters. Uh, you know, I am just going to kind of TLDR this real quick. I'm just going to get a summary. The, Mainly because I don't want to get any spoilers in here potentially. We have seen a good amount of this game has gotten some pretty good reviews already. It's a new game. We've already seen that it's been reviewed pretty well. And we've seen quite a bit about it just over the amount of content that was kind of pushed out to us during the summer games showcases. And so I'm just going to kind of hit these last couple of paragraphs here to summarize kind of what they say about it. Yeah, no doubt. Yo, just go ahead and take another one. It's cool. Tell them that I said it's fine. Okay. Yeah, tell work. Be like, yo, OA said I need another week of work off. I'm not ready to go back, and he was like, hey, it's cool. It'll be all right. Um, Ultimately, the nuances of every character and dialogue option are the best parts of As Dusk Falls. When you're stuck on a decision screen, it feels like Interior Night is always one step ahead, knowing that you can likely foresee how any choice you make could save the day or go south in a hurry. As Dusk Falls can feel like it's in the same misery business as series like The Leftovers or 6 Feet Under, meaning much of the time your best laid plans will go terribly awry, partly due to its writer's penchant for melancholy. But by the end of the sixth and final episode, a complete story will come into view, and it's one that doesn't relish the idea of ruining every character's life. Though I don't doubt such an ending may exist somewhere on the massive story tree visualized in the game. Rather, it ends up telling a story that brilliantly grapples with a lot of underexplored or even unexplored themes in video games. Like a lot of my favorite games, it left me with a lot to think about, such as the roles we choose or reject, the hardships we inescapably inherit from family, and how trauma casts a dauntingly long shadow, but how forgiveness, should we choose to show it, may just let the light in. That's amazing. That's amazing. This is actually supposed to be a really, really cool game. It's one of those very like cinematic experiences, right? It's kind of like playing a movie, if you will. You know, it's very, and you can see the art style of it's very, very cool, but it's actually done by real actors and everything like that, which is cool. Um, and it's just a lot of basically getting immersed in this story and making decisions that affect the way the rest of the game plays out and everything, you know, and it's supposed to be very, very well done. So if you're interested in those kinds of titles, then I would say everything that I know and have heard and read so far about As Dusk Falls seems like it would be a great title for you to check out. So I would probably recommend. And if you do, anybody does try this out, please let me know what you think about it, okay? Xbox Pioneer forms Jar of Sparks, new studio dedicated to AAA action adventure games. Another new AAA studio has joined the gaming scene, this one founded by Jerry Hook, one of the architects of the original Xbox who most recently worked on Halo Infinite. The new studio's mission is to, quote, create a new generation of narrative-driven action games with immersive worlds. Its founding members include Paul Crocker, who served as lead narrative director on the Batman Arkham trilogy, Greg Stone, who produced Doom in 2016, and Steve Dite, who worked on SSX, NBA Street, and the Halo series. Dude, I loved both SSX and NBA Street. I loved both those games. Hook's new venture follows his departure from 343 Industries, where he served head of design on Halo Infinite. Hook also helped launch Xbox Live and worked on Halo 4, 5, and Destiny in various capacities. Speaking with IGN in an interview ahead of the announcement, Hook says that the collective decision to leave 343 was part of the natural cycle of departures that follows the release of a major project. Quote, I took a step back, really wanted to take a look at what is the impact I wanted to have moving forward. What is the impact I wanted to have, not just with games or the next big idea, but really taking a look at teams and how I could build a home for creators and content creators who could really flourish and specifically help them grow so that they can put their entire passion against a project, Hook says. And so on top of creative ideas and new game ideas and all the innovation that goes into games, I realized that probably my biggest challenge was we haven't really, in the game development space, spent a lot of time trying to innovate with teams and studios and studio structures. Jarv Sparks is currently in the early stages of forming its core team, which the studio hopes will provide ideas for its first project. Hook estimates the studio's first game is 3 to 4 years away. One thing that's for certain is that it won't be a live service game. Even with Hook's experience working on projects like Xbox Live and Destiny, he deems live service to be too much of a risk for a fledgling studio like Jarv Sparks. Probably smart. One of the main challenges we all seem to struggle with is there's only so much risk you can take on with a new studio. You're forming a complete team with people who don't know each other, have never worked with each other, or brand new IP. Live service adds more complexity on top of that, and I really think from my own experience for service-driven games, the amount of work you need to do to make a live service game is pretty tremendous. Yeah, and I think the first game that Jar Sparks is going to go do isn't to have that component to allow the team to flourish first and be able to put their creative energy first without having to worry about the continual pressure of server-driven models, Hook explains. That's probably very, very smart. And despite the studio's status as a AAA developer, Hook isn't thinking in terms of massive budgets and even bigger sales. One of the challenges I think the industry has gotten itself into, where if everyone is always shooting for 300 million mark or 10 million mark, I'm just like, okay, how about you build a team with the right budget that allows you to be successful with just a couple million or just $1 million? And you can be successful that way, Hook says. Citing smaller scale successes like V Rising and Valheim, absolutely. So my goal, or at least our goal that we've talked about with the founder, is we don't want to go after God of War. We want to create our own space. It has a good dedicated following, and it is a great title that people want to sink their teeth into. That's it. Absolutely, man. As for NetEase, Hook sees the Chinese publishing giant as a backstop against the difficulties that can arise from the volatile games industry. If you're going to innovate and you need to slip something, your publisher of those people financing, you have to be clear that you can slip, Hook says. And that was one of the key conversations I had with NetEase, which is you need to prepare for slipping if we're going to go and innovate. If you're on board with us innovating, you know the risks, and they were very clear with me. Jarv Sparks joins a host of other studios that have formed amid the glut of financing in the games industry, among them Nightgale developer Inflection Games, Callisto Protocol developer Striking Distance Studios, and Stormgate developer Frost Giant Studios. The surge of studios helmed by experienced industry veterans is only now beginning to see results. NetEase, for its part, calls Jarv Sparks a new first-party studio that will enjoy full creative freedom. Its other holdings include Grasshopper Manufacture and the new studio formed by Yakuza creator Toshihiro Nagashi. Cool, man. Okay. That actually sounds, I like what I'm reading there. I like what I'm reading. That's one of the things you definitely don't want to see from any studio, even a studio that is very well established, right, is reaching too far. But especially a new studio, right? You don't want to see too much of a reach. So that's probably a very safe bet. Destiny 2 streamer sued by Bungie for cheating and harassment. Bungie is filing a lawsuit against a Twitch streamer who allegedly got caught cheating in-game repeatedly, selling Destiny 2 assets, and threatening Bungie's employees and headquarters. Bungie claims that Twitch streamer Luca Leone, also known as Miffy's World, routinely streams themselves using cheats in the form of third-party software. In the lawsuit filed on June 15th, Bungie said this is, quote, used to gain an unfair advantage by players without the skill or integrity to succeed at the game on their own merit, and that this ruins the experience of playing Destiny 2 for Bungie's large community of honest gamers. Absolutely. Cheaters get wrecked, dude. Bungie also said it has already repeatedly banned Leon for these violations of the limited software license agreement by repeatedly creating new accounts. No less than 13. Leon has committed serial fraud, according to Bungie, as they never intended to abide by the LSLA, yet claimed to agree to it. Apparently, Leon has also made repeated threats targeting Bungie and its employees, tweeting via the alias of Inkcell about their desire to burn down Bungie's offices and stating that Bungie employees were not safe given Leon's intent to move into their neighborhood. During the investigations of Leon's activities, Bungie also alleges criminal conduct as Leon is a member of a hacking and selling forum, OG Users, where they sell presumably stolen social media accounts and Destiny 2 emblems. Emblems in the game are non-transferable digital art badges and are considered prized collectibles by many Destiny 2 players. This is therefore a further breach of the LSLA, as the LSLA prohibits the unauthorized commercial exploitation of the game and any digital assets within it. Each sale by Leon is a willful violation of Bungie copyright. Yeah, what a trash individual, right? Yeah, get wrecked. I hope this individual gets absolutely slammed. Due to the above measures, Bungie said the decision to bring the lawsuit was easy and continued, as Bungie has demonstrated repeatedly, it will not allow its game, its community, or its employees to be abused, defrauded, or threatened. Leon has done all three, and this is the consequence. It's not the first time Bungie has taken action against players causing harm to their gaming community, as in June they issued a 6.2, that's pound, right, million lawsuit against the copyright fraudster, as well as settling for 10.7 million pounds out of court with a Destiny 2 cheat site. In other news, has patented a system that would potentially feed the player advertisements and content based on their in-game playstyle. The more I find out about Bungie, the more they are becoming one of my favorite developers. And I don't even play any of their games right now. The more I find out about Bungie, the more I love them. They are not sitting idly by and just not doing anything besides focusing on money. They are actually passionate about their games, their community of gamers, their employees, and they are passionate about their values at the core of their business, and they are vocal about it, which I find to be refreshing. They're not afraid to speak out about what they find to be at the core of what is in the values within their corporation and their business, and taking care of their employees. And I find that to be a very refreshing thing. And they are going after people that are trying to as you can see here, they are absolutely going after individuals that are trying to degrade the quality of their games and their games community. And it's awesome. I love it. Because, dude, I hate cheaters. I flippin' hate cheaters. It is one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube, is to watch people get caught cheating while they're like live streaming and stuff. And I love the fact that cheating is against the TOS on Twitch as well. I love that. So watching people get caught on Twitch cheating and get banned, dude, I love that stuff. I love it. Good on Bungie, dude. Good on Bungie. Government says video game loot boxes will not be regulated. The UK government has decided video game loot boxes will not be regulated under betting laws, despite it finding a link between them and gambling harms. Okay. In a long-awaited call for evidence, it instead told the video game industry to take action to protect young people. It says it will step in if firms do not act, and also wants loot box purchases to be restricted to adults unless approved by a parent or guardian. One academic said he was dismayed by the government's approach. Loot boxes are an in-game feature involving a sealed mystery box, sometimes earned through playing a game and sometimes paid for with real money, which can be opened to reveal virtual items such as weapons or costumes. They have come under fire in recent years, with consumer groups in 18 European countries backing a report calling them exploitative and in May. Gambling Act unchanged. The government was considering whether loot boxes should form part of its yet-to-be-released review of the Gambling Act of 2005, but it has decided against this. They're absolutely gambling. This is what's crazy to me, is they're like, they absolutely found a link between them and gambling harms, but they're like, we're not going to do anything about it, though. We're going to leave it up to the video game industry to handle this. That's like going, you know, what's a good analogy here? It's like, I don't know. I'm kind of. I was going to use one, and then I don't want to use it now because it can come off kind of bad. But well, I mean, I think the big thing here is there's got to be some kind of. It's not about prohibiting everybody from being able to access this mechanic, right? If people want to spend money that way, people should be able to spend money that way, you know? But the big thing is protecting impressionable young people from being able to be pulled into that, sucked into that world of gambling. You know what I mean? Before they're mature enough to understand exactly what is happening within that sphere of gambling, and that it is an addiction. It can be very addictive, and I think that's what a lot of these countries are trying to get to. You know, a lot of these organizations are going, look, man, there's something's got to, because they're absolutely targeting. They're targeting young people, right? Let's not get this wrong, you know. And there are a lot of adults that buy into the loot box stuff, and that's fine. You're an adult. You make adult decisions, right? That's fine. You're a mature adult individual. You want to waste your money on that kind of thing? Hey, whatever. But with kids, and again, I mean, one of the things that's also plays into this is like, how is a kid just going and buying everything? Which kids are crafty, dude, and they'll find ways to get what they want, whether it be, you know, there needs to be oversight from guardians and parents, but kids are crafty, right? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've talked about that a lot. We've talked about that a lot, Mamzelle. There needs to be oversight from adults and parents, and that's a big part of this. It's a big part of it. We just know that that's not always going to happen, right? It should. It should be. It should be. It's just not always going to happen. And the fact of the matter is, though, kids will find ways, right? If they want to keep, if they're exposed to that kind of predatory, exploitative mechanic of gambling, and they get sucked into it, it can potentially lead them. It's an addiction, right? It is absolutely an addiction for even adults. Gambling is, right? And if kids get exposed to it that young, it can lead at a very early age. I mean, it can lead to them, you know, doing some very, very drastic things to find ways to get money to keep fulfilling this drive that they feel like they need to do to keep getting into these loot boxes. I think that's what a lot of people are trying to do. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's the big thing. I mean, is it necessarily going to keep, kids from turning into gambling addicts whenever they turn into adults? Maybe not, but maybe so. It's about protecting kids while they're young. I think that's the main thing about this. And even if it's just a number of these kids that it helps um, prevent them from turning into a gambling addict, you know what I mean? From being exposed to this while they are young and impressionable, then that's a win, and I think that's the way a lot of people see this. Is it going to keep all children from being gambling addicts as adults? No, no, that's not the play. But I think it will help to an extent, and I think that's the way a lot of other people see it too. And ultimately, when you're an adult, you make your own decisions. You want to spend your money on that kind of stuff, you're going to do it, right? Um, the government was considering whether loot boxes should be form of its yet to be released review of the Gambling Act 2005, but it has decided against this. Video game publishers have been told they must bring in sufficient measures to govern player safety, such as protecting vulnerable adults and fully disclosing the odds of getting certain items from loot boxes. While many loot boxes share some similarities with traditional gaming products, we view the ability to legitimately cash out rewards as an important distinction, it said in the report. In particular, the prize does not normally have real world monetary value outside of the game. Its primary utility is to enhance the in game experience. No, it's still using real world money to gamble on things that, like, you're still getting sucked into a very predatory mechanic. Uh, and the fact of the matter is that it is absolutely targeting young people. The Gambling Commission has shown that it can and will take action where the trading of items obtained from loot boxes does amount to unlicensed gambling. Will continue to take robust enforcement action where needed. Government plans to launch a video games research framework later this year, which it hopes will work with academics and people from the industry to improve the available data. It said there were limitations to the evidence base regarding loot boxes. Uh, Some say the government has not gone far enough in its response. James Close from the University of Plymouth, who has published research on the link between gaming loot boxes and problem gambling, said he was dismayed by the report. I take issue with some of the citation of the evidence base. He said the report released yesterday did show strong links with problem gambling. Quote, they cite those things, but then they equally said there's no evidence of causation here. They might not be able to support causation, but if people at serious risk of harm are engaging heavily in this form of monetization, then it doesn't matter whether loot boxes cause problem gambling. Dr. Close also raised questions about whether the government was right to say prizes did not have real world monetary value outside the games, as some secondary markets allow online players to easily sell items acquired in game. Yep, they do. His research published in 2021 found loot boxes are structurally and psychologically akin to gambling. Excuse me, but games publisher previously defended them, comparing loot boxes to children's toys, hatch animals, or Kinder surprises. EA has been doing loot box crap forever, and they will never, ever, ever give it up without an absolute fight. Adrian Hahn, chief executive of game developer Six to Start and author of forthcoming book You've Been Played, called this comparison obviously ridiculous. It would be like there's a Kinder Surprise shop in your bedroom and you can buy as many as you want, he said. In order for the two to be comparable, he added, when you open them up, there's fireworks going off everywhere. And you can get this amazing toy that you can use in the game that you play with your friends. That's not a Kinder Surprise. That's comparison. The comparison is insulting, really. Yeah, dude. That feels bad. Again, I mean, across the board, I honestly I feel like I'm not a fan of loot boxes in games anyways. I'm just not. I've never been a fan of it. Um, if you're just talking about loot boxes in the form of like getting things that might be like skins, in-game cosmetic stuff, whatever, then okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm a bit more okay with that. But especially when you get to the point of where you're talking about like loot box stuff where it's actually RNG pay to win stuff. Like, I mean, you saw in Diablo Immortal, like, dude, absolutely no way. No way am I okay with that. And I don't know. It just depends on, you know, the way the game was built. Is it free to play? Did you have to pay for it up front? You know, because that makes a big difference to me. As far as, you know, are there like these loot boxes you can buy just to get like cosmetics out of or whatever? And is the game free to play up front so people are able to just like play this game for hundreds and hundreds of hours, and then maybe the developer is trying to recoup you know, that's what the way they get their profit out of the game, right? And I'm a little bit more okay with that. uh oh no, they'll never go away. No, no. But I mean, I think that's the big thing for me, gamer, is like my big concern here is trying to protect kids, trying to protect young, impressionable individuals at this point with that mechanic, right? Until they're a bit more mature and can make better decisions for themselves regarding that kind of thing, um, I would just rather them not have to be exposed to it. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I doubt it'll ever happen because money makes the world go round, unfortunately. Yep, yep. Dying Light 2 data mine reveals gladiator themed story DLC. The future DLC reportedly takes parkour to the open house. Hardcore parkour. Um, if you guys remember, Dying Light 2 devs basically committed to ensuring that they were going to continually be bringing new content updates to the game for the next like 5 years. That's kind of a vague statement, but that's what they said. As a recent Dying Light 2 data mine has revealed potential gladiator themed story DLC, which is reportedly set in an opera house. As shared on Reddit, the recent Dying Light version 1.4.0 patch contains traces of story DLC, which is apparently called Opera. According to a video by Bub, who originally shared the data mine files, the DLC is gladiator themed and contains both a new story as well as the usual zombie slashing and parkour you'd expect from Dying Light. The data mine also contained a few other interesting details about the political DLC. Oh, excuse me, the potential DLC. According to the same Reddit post, major events will take place in the DLC and will be based in an opera house called Opera Astrid, as well as its surrounding areas. The data mine also found 2 different endings, 2,000 pieces of dialogue, new 3D models, storyboards, and much more. See all the evidence in the video below. But we won't watch that. Dying Light 2 was originally released in February. I'm sure once it officially releases, we'll see some videos of it. This is just some data mine stuff. I'm not going to look at it. Dying Light 2 was originally released in February of this year, and as of April, it has sold 5 million copies. No surprise, developer Techland has plans to keep the game going for as long as possible. Earlier this year, Techland told fans of the zombie action adventure game to expect the unexpected with Dying Light 2 DLC. Following this, lead designer on Dying Light 2, Timon Smektala, also said that Dying Light 2's upcoming story-driven DLC will positively surprise people, which sounds about right for DLC set in an opera house. We've had several smaller add-ons for the game, but with the most recent being the 1.4.0 update, which added a photo mode and a free gameplay chapter. Okay. I wonder what the state of the game is right now. Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, again, the big difference, I think, it comes down to uh, there are a lot of people that have there are a lot of people in the world that have gambling addictions, and I hit on that, right? So it's not lost on me that the loot box and many of the other kinds of mechanics, the gotcha mechanics that are put into video games, are not just aimed at uh, younger individuals, right? They absolutely they prey upon people that have gambling addictions, gamers. So I've touched on that. Now, the thing that makes it even more difficult to like just get rid of it across the board is that not everybody does, right? Not everybody has a gambling addiction, and you're not going to be able to tell the entire world like where you can't put these kinds of mechanics in games because there are some people in the world that have a problem, right? Um, is it predatory? Absolutely, no doubt in my mind. It's a predatory mechanic for sure. It's exploitative. It's predatory. No doubt in my mind. I don't like it, but there are people in the world that will, that will go. I don't have an issue. Um, I want to be able to spend my money the way I want to spend my money. I don't have an issue with gambling. I don't see it the same way you do. And they're adults, dude. You know what I mean? That's why at this point, with the way these mechanics are incorporated in games, that's why I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, just at least try to keep the kids away from it. You know what I mean? Because they are, there's no doubt that younger individuals are not, their brains are not fully developed yet. They're not as um, mature as an adult would be most of the time. They're across the board a more impressionable human being than an adult would be when it comes to these kinds of exploitative and kind of scummy mechanics, you know? So, am I saying that there aren't adults that are going to get caught into these mechanics? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But I don't see any way to keep it away from games as a whole at all. Especially because there are going to be people, adults, that are video game players that fight to keep it in there because they enjoy it and they want to spend their money on it. And as far as I'm concerned, the fight just needs to be to keep kids away from it. That's where our time and effort just needs to be focused, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. At this point, that's just where I'm at with it. Yeah, but you're right. You're absolutely right, man. Kids are not the only impressionable minds out there. Absolutely not, dude. Absolutely not. And there are all kinds of people out there that can get hooked into these kind of uh, predatory mechanics. Absolutely, regardless of age. But I think it's to a greater extent, a much greater extent, you'll see a younger audience, the youth of the world, buy into and get hooked into that a bit easier. Yeah. Uh. Well, yeah. I mean, no. I mean, we talk about this a lot. It would take a united front, man. That's what we talk. I mean, we talk about that all the time, right? It would take a united front, and that's why, like I was just saying, there are going to be too many people that aren't on board, right? There are too many people that aren't on board to totally get away from gotcha mechanics and loot boxes and things like that. It'll never go away because not everybody will be on board, right? But at the very least, what we could try to do is protect the youth. That's where I feel like we should at least be focusing our time and efforts, because I think we might be able to get something done on that front. You're not wrong. Unfortunately, it just, this is our world, man. You know, we'll keep fighting. I'll keep fighting. I just um Well, I'm not sure where you're taking that last comment, to be honest. Do video games cause violence? There's been a lot of research behind that says no, right? And that's what you said, no. Same thing. Do video games cause gambling? The mechanics that are being incorporated in video games can absolutely lead people to being um, gamblers at this point, influenced into gambling mechanics. Yeah. Maybe there's a couple more important things in life to be concerned about. Well, I mean, I don't disagree with you there, but we're just talking about this is video gaming news, man. This is video gaming news, so that's why we talk about video gaming life, dude. This is what revolves around video gaming and what's going on in the world of video gaming, right? So that's what's pertinent to the discussion. And are there absolutely more important things in the grand scheme of what life has to offer us as human beings right now? Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. But as far as the world that I love, which is video gaming, and some of the big concerns that are at the forefront of the world that I love and enjoy and immerse myself in every single day, this is a very important one. Yeah. So, this teeny Steam Deck rival is just the right size. Um, Child is at home, wondering where mom and dad are a lot of the time. Find out they spend their time at a casino. Does that have to do with video games? Well, no. Yeah, I mean, in that regard, well, then no. I mean yeah. I mean that child has been influenced by the example of their parents, right? Not the video game mechanic, for sure. Uh, yeah, yeah. Um, this teeny Steam Deck rival is just the right size for a handheld gaming PC. And I mean, that's a whole nother issue, you know. I mean, and that's something we kind of touched on earlier. Is unfortunately there are a lot of kids in the world that have to grow up in unfortunate circumstances. And no, you're good. You're good, buddy. I mean, that's and what happens is they get thrown in front of screens, right? They get thrown in front of screens, and I think that ties in. Actually, I think what you say ties in. Whether it be parents that there are all kinds of different reasons, right? It could be a single parent that's having to work multiple jobs to try to provide, and unfortunately just isn't able to constantly have oversight of what the kids are exposed to, right? It happens. At the same time, it could be parents that just don't really care. And kids are exposed to uh, whatever the kid wants to be exposed to because the parents don't have any oversight, right? There are all kinds of different reasons. But the fact of the matter is, video games are everywhere. Technology is everywhere. And because video games are everywhere and they're very, very popular with the world and especially young people, these kinds of mechanics find their way into the forefront of people and kids quite often, right? And a lot of times, whatever the reason may be, guardians and parents just aren't having a lot of oversight about what the kids are getting themselves into, right? Whether it be uh, one reason or another. Aya Neo is taking pre-orders on its super light and thing. I think that's supposed to be thin. Handheld gaming PC with the Barcello Ryzen 7 CPU. I am so sketched out about these like wannabe Steam Decks. I am not kidding, man. Aya Neo, makers of what feels like a dozen handheld gaming PCs, ran a 7-hour live stream last week detailing the production progress of its Air line of handheld Windows gaming PCs. The Air and Air Pro are super lightweight and thin handheld gaming PCs with OLED displays. The stream looked at the final version of the Air Pro and how significantly smaller it is than a Nintendo Switch and Steam Deck. We also got to see what's powering the more expensive Air Pro, a Ryzen 7 5825U processor, which is a more powerful version of a similar CPU with higher clock speeds than in the other models of the Air that are available for pre-order. While the Steam Deck's AMD Zen 2 Van Gogh CPU still runs laps around the Aya Neo's least powerful line of handhelds, you can still reportedly run games like Elden Ring, God of War, and even Red Dead Redemption 2 at 30 frames on low settings at 720p, which is a claim I'd love to put to the test, even though I wouldn't recommend running Elden Ring on anything other than a console. The Air series has potential as a retro gaming and emulation system and is definitely prioritizing portability over the raw power needed to run current AAA games, as well as the Steam Deck. Since it's a Windows device, you'll be able to easily access your games on Steam, Epic Game Store, and the Xbox app. Here's hoping this thing gets Steam OS support from Valve like other Steam Deck competitor is getting. Here's the thing. Look at this. The expected shipping window for the Aya Neo Air Pro starts in August, but you can pre-order it right now, starting at almost $600, guys. This is more expensive than a Steam Deck is. The models with the most powerful Ryzen CPU would be out for almost $1,000. And this is the device. This is what I continue to see. We continue seeing these devices come up that they're like, this could be a competitor to the Steam Deck. And it's these companies that I've never heard of before. I have no idea what the quality of their product would be, and I'm a little bit sketched out about what it would possibly be, as well as what their you know product support would also entail. And then they cost more as well, which is wild. So I don't know. If you're, this is my thing. The Steam Deck is actually, I was sketched out about the Steam Deck. 7 a.m. Pacific. Oh, cool, man. Cool. Awesome, gamer. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I didn't figure it would be like midday if they weren't already out. I figured it would be early, but that's actually later than I figured it would be. But hey, man, cool, cool. Yo, GG's, man. Sorry I wasn't able to find it for you earlier. I needed to get on through these other news segments, or news articles. My bad. But I'm glad you found it, dude. I'm glad you found it. Wick, what's up, bro? The thing that's wild is, I was skeptical about the Steam Deck to begin with, but everything that I found out about the device, it seems amazing. Great hardware, great support from Valve. You can access the device yourself, open it up, tinker with it or whatever without breaking warranty. Very easy to get cheap replacement parts for joysticks, buttons, anything like that. It's got easy access to mess with the software and stuff like it's really hard for me to say that if you're just looking to game on PC and you're cool with like a handheld, you should be going for anything else besides a Steam Deck right now. Yes, you need to pre-order, but just wait. Pre-order it and wait. Um, so that I mean that's my opinion right now. All the reviews I've read, I would love to get my hands on one. I would love to get my hands on one, but it seems like a great device. It really does. And Steam is continuing to verify their games for the device. Games on Steam don't have to be verified for the deck to be played on the deck. But if they're verified for the deck, it means that they're optimized for the device, right? Whereas if you play a game that's not verified for the Steam Deck, it might have a little bit of wonkiness to it. But they've got a ton of games already that are verified for it. It's just weird to me to see these kinds of articles come out about these devices. Manufacturers, I've never heard of most of these manufacturers ever before. They're more expensive, and it just seems really sketchy to me. My advice, if you're in the market for something like this, pre-order a Steam Deck. That's just my advice. Last article I have. This is going to be wild. Last article I have. If you have anything else for me regarding video gaming news, let me know. I'll address it before we finish up after I complete this article right here. Okay. Man installs incredible gaming setup to play Truck Simulator. Check this noise out. An avid gamer has taken the game experience to the next level by creating an insane setup to create realistic truck simulator. Truck simulator player Rico Trucker 1 has altered his gaming setup to look like he's actually driving a truck, and honestly, it's got us questioning what is real life anymore. The gamer has sprawled his elaborate gaming system over a real truck, even installing side mirrors in the simulation and a passenger seat beside him for anyone who wants to hit the highway with him. He's also added a real-life gear lever, a light-up dashboard, and even a mic hanging in the middle of his setup, presumably so he can communicate to other players. Check this out, dude. That is cool. The internet has gone wild over this simulation, with many have gone to make a second take. One person wrote, "Is this in your house? If so, where do I get one?" Another commented, "This looks so cool. Truck sim goals." While you might have played the game as a kid, the re-release of the game confirms that graphics have come a long way since the Wii days of Tetris and Pac-Man. Thanks to the little help of 4K res, the game makes you feel like you're really steering from the sky, making you feel like Tom Cruise right up Top Gun. Oh, wait, advert. Wait, what? Oh, dude, that's something totally else. Hold on. Not now. Shut up. Yeah, that was Flight Simulator. My bad. That is really neat, dude. Check that out. Let's look at this real quick. Look at that, dude. What do you think that setup cost? I bet that was expensive, man. Oh, you mean your lawnmower, dude? I still need to see your lawnmower. That's actually really neat. That's really neat. All right. All right. Yo, gamer, what are you planning on playing whenever the games drop this morning? Everybody, thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the news, part of this community. You guys are amazing. That'll do it for our news segment for today, July 19th. If you're enjoying the content, you're viewing this on YouTube later, then do me a favor, consider hitting that like and subscribe button and potentially leave me a comment so we can discuss some of these subjects that we went over today, okay? Also, see what you can do about coming and hanging out with us at 6 o'clock a.m. CST, where we do the news segments every single day at the beginning of our streams, okay? We're going to move on to some day 12 of Witcher 3, but everybody, if you are viewing this as a VOD on YouTube, then just stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another, and we'll catch everybody tomorrow for July 20th edition of Video Gaming News. All right?